Welcome back to New Rockstars. I'm Jessica Clemons, aka the NR She-Hulk, here to break down episode 2 for you. The episode gets into Jen really planting her feet as She-Hulk, GLK&H, and how shady their structure is. But what I really love is we get into Emil Blonsky and his point of view to the Duel of Harlem and the beef between himself and Hulk. He's a great villain, but I love this point of view and I love him just so much. The last scene of this episode gave us our Lord and Savior, that is Wang. So let's get into this with some details that you might have missed. Titania is what's referred to as a super influencer, which is hilarious because the term super influencer actually exists for top tier digital influencers, which Titania absolutely is. She now has a Twitter account with her defacing She-Hulk posters as her header. Her bio says influencer, icon, global lifestyle brand. Where Kamala had her YouTube channel, maybe Titania is a vlogger, content creator, influencer. Honestly, she might just have clothing hauls and makeup tutorials. I mean, look at her. Those headshots, baby's a model or actress. We get different news outlets covering the mayhem that ensued that day at the courtroom. KPVK and KZYO both appeared in Ant-Man and Wasp, covering Ant-Man aka Giant Man in the FBI room of TVs. We have News Los Angeles Now that could be affiliated with KRXJ, Channel 6 News in Los Angeles. We last saw in Iron Man 3. They share the similar colors. The headline below reads this, which absolutely could be the case. This sort of messy Hollywood celebrity trope moment. Additionally, Giovanna Laura, John Gregory, and Rachel Brown each play the news anchors and are actual news anchors for ABC7's Eyewitness News in Los Angeles. We get our first eyewitness and reporter in the field. If this guy looks familiar to you, he's in Black Lightning playing the same character and objectifying a female superhero. My dude stays typecasted. They came up with the name She-Hulk, and thank God it wasn't Chick Hulk, but like Bruce mentioned in episode 1, you never have a choice with these names. We make it to the Legal Ease Bar and Grill. Love how green it is. Legalese is the conventional way legal documents are written, so sorta a pun. Either way, this is where all the lawyers hang out and drink. We got the same sort of stylized sports bar in She-Hulk comics. Also, you know it's a bar of lawyers with all those justice scales. Nikki refers to Jen as Lady Hulk, She-Hulk, Girl Hulk, and in the comics, Jen has been called Chick Hulk and Girly Hulk before. With it came nothing but danger. Just don't get it twisted, you know what I'm saying? With this newfound She-Hulk courage, she enters the bar to cheers and applause, completely stepping past the hostess. It's okay, she didn't want to see you guys anyways. Also, the coffee supplies on the bar, hella cool. She's wearing a zip-up hoodie because she completely shredded her original blazer hulking out in the courtroom. The song playing is Celeste, Stop This Flame, truly because you ain't stopping She-Hulk now. Jen mentions hoping the name doesn't stick and being a derivative of the Hulk, which unfortunately is exactly how she got her name. They created She-Hulk from the success of Incredible Hulk, the TV series, and with the Bionic Woman being so popular, it seemed like a good idea. Marvel was afraid they'd introduce a female version of Hulk, so they decided to publish their own version, so if any movie made something similar, Marvel would own the rights. Kind of like Spider-Woman, it's just easier to trademark before, you know the phrase, they ask for permission before, sorry laters. Is that what they say? Later on, Jen says this to Nikki.
I'm not. No, I did not go to law school and rack up 6 figures in student loans to become a vigilante. That is for billionaires and narcissists and adult orphans for some reason.
Probably referring to people like Steve Rogers, Thor, most definitely Tony Stark. I'd argue Natasha as well, but I just wouldn't necessarily call her a narcissist, you know? When Nikki suggests being an Avenger to Jen, Jen says this. Play me another clip.
Do the Avengers offer healthcare? I don't know. Maternity leave, a pension, are they even paid?
This got me thinking, yeah, what are the benefits? Now, in the comics, they got a lot. According to the Avengers UN Charter and Avengers Annual, they got free healthcare, they had stipends, a retirement fund, access to Avenger vehicles, weapons, and a lot more. But in the MCU, it's looking kind of bleak. So remember back in Falcon and Winter Soldier when Sam was trying to get a bank loan? Sam's got government contract earnings, so that could make a lot. Also, since he's a hero, people are inclined to help you. You know, the old civilian benefits. They have free housing on Avengers campus, access and security clearance to the Avengers facilities, but most of what we know about their actual benefits is still sort of up in the air. Also, people like T'Challa, Thor, Vision, Iron Man don't really need the benefits. They had endless money or were just a robot, so they probably overlooked people like Natasha, Clint, and Wanda who needed it. Her DA boss goes to talk to her, and he's pretty uncomfortable around She-Hulk and asks her to change to Jennifer Walters because it's a serious conversation. These little microaggressions should be noted because it's reinforcing that She-Hulk can physically be too much or dominating or just make people uncomfy, and that's all bullshit. When Jen changes from She-Hulk to Jennifer Walters, she's intoxicated and mentions it's because of the change of her metabolism. That is insane and dangerous. She literally can drink 30 bottles and get tipsy as She-Hulk, but if she turns into Jen, she'd be in the hospital? Insane. And also important to note, our baby girl just got fired for being a liability in the 2004 comic run. It was the same exact thing. She and the Avengers saved everyone on Earth, which they concluded to be why the jury had a speedy verdict. If I had $1 for every time Hulks were seen as a liability, I'd be rich. Either way, it seems like a very thin line, easily crossed for any superhero lawyer. The show's title introduced a little over 5 minutes into the show, like other law shows, Better Call Saul, Ally McBeal. Law & Order sorta does the same thing, though it really opens with, in the criminal justice system, sexually based offenses are considered especially heinous. In New York City, the dedicated detectives who investigate these vicious felonies are members of an elite squad known as the Special Victims Unit. These are their stories. Chunk, chunk. Also below where it says attorney at law, it changes to attorney for hire. Bruce refers to Jen as Fuzzball a lot, and in an interview with CNET with Tatiana Maslany, mentions Mark Ruffalo ad-libbed and called her Fuzzball because of her hair during a take, and it's stuck ever since. I think it's just really cute. Someone, please just call me Fuzzball. Quick, hurry, anyone. We get a shot of Jen's apartment with Nikki. We see the takeout food, truly too many lamps. You have 4 big windows. What do you need 5 lamps for? And wine bottles. It's hard looking for a job, and I get it. Let's not forget the Velvet Devil Merlot bottles sitting on the table. Washington State wine, baby, represent. They also put this devil wine in there to torment Voss. I ain't buying it. It ain't Mephisto. While looking for new jobs, Jen's on a site titled 10 Offbeat Jobs for a Fresh Start by Kyle Wendt. A lot of stuff to look at here. You can choose a subgenre, fun, movies, find Ant-Man, which is probably Where's Waldo style game, Cars, Norse mythology, probably in regards to Thor, Avengers, this is self-explanatory, Insanity, which the article is currently under, and World. The QR code leads you to the same one from episode 1 to the Marvel website. The actual recommended job on the site is to be a Swiss Village mascot. That town right there is called Bern in Switzerland. The coat of arms of Bern is also a flag with a bear on it. Their mascot is a bear, so hence why you'd be their bear mascot. Also, the city does resemble the city in Moon Knight, certainly if you remember. There's some German signage. It also fancies an alpine village. Also, from this shot of the actual arts district of the small town, compared to the shot in Moon Knight, they covered the Hungarian stores with German names, so this could be a little village in Bern. Just a possibility, but MT, I think you're right. Also remember Bern 2000, the science conference where Tony hooked up with Maya, was also there. As an advertisement, don't miss out on these cool Iron Man 3s. Dear God. It has Tony's heart symbol above it. Also, this indicates there was an Iron Man 1 and 2 sneaker. If you're thinking, dang, I gotta get on those quick, Adidas did a collab with Marvel and made Stark shoes, so I'm sure you can still get them. For related articles, we have man fights with metal claws in a bar brawl. How is this not about Wolverine? I repeat, this is absolutely about Wolverine. Who else would it be? This literally happened in the first X-Men movie. Why there's a giant statue of a man sticking out of the ocean, thank God it's been finally addressed. This is referring to Tiamat and Eternals. So now it's a little after Eternals. They're aware of what happened, so the timeline for this show is ever changing. Head writer Jessica Gao said it was a little after Shang-Chi, but Marvel's page on Disney Plus puts it right after Moon Knight. I think we'll get more evidence as the show continues to where it really lands. Either way, these writers are truly just the best. I love this. Keep teasing us. Go ahead. We get a glimpse of Jen's phone. The wallpaper is Captain America's ass. Bless. No date though, you know, for timeline reasons. We're first introduced to Jen's dad, Morris Walters, played by Mark Lynn Baker, who's been on a ton of Law & Order and Ally McBeal, and Jen's mom, Elaine Walters, played by Tess Malice Kincaid, who played a judge on Bluff City Law. Just to say, every actor has probably been on a law show at least once in their life. We meet Uncle Tucker, played by Michael H. Cole, who was also the acting coach on WandaVision, Black Widow, and Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2, Cousin Ched, played by Nicholas Cerrillo, and Aunt Melanie, played by Candace Rose, aka Chrissy's mom in Stranger Things, and Aunt Rebecca, played by Elizabeth Becca. And unless there's 2 Aunt Rebeccas in that world, that could be Bruce's mom, Rebecca Banner, which is weird. I don't know why she's so quiet. Well, she's allowed to be quiet. Everyone's allowed to be quiet, I guess, but that's Bruce's mom. Let me paint a picture for you. You're a dude, you're watching She-Hulk, and you're thinking, what can I do to give myself a glow up without getting Hulk blood involved? Glad you asked. I've got an answer. It's Geology. Geology is a 13-time award-winning skincare company that creates simple, effective, personalized skincare products. See the link in today's video's description? Click that and take a 30-second quiz. Tell Geology about your skin, and their team of dermatologists will design a regimen just for you that ships directly to your door. Knock, knock. Who's there? It's Geology. Their products are great for whatever you're worried about. Acne, dark eye circles, or wrinkles. You'll be sent a 30-day trial. See, that's easy to incorporate into your routine, whether you're new to skincare or a seasoned expert. You know how dudes of new Rockstars always look fresh-faced? I'm talking Zach, Brandon, and Tommy. No matter how many straight hours of nerd stuff they've been watching, this is their secret. It's Geology. Specifically, their fancy eye cream. Geology makes it easy to take care of your skin. No need to become an amateur dermatologist. They're offering a crazy deal right now. You can get it for 70% off. Oh my gosh, 70% off on their 30-day 5-piece trial kit. Head to geology.com to get 70% off your 30-day trial when you use the code ROCKSTARS70, or just click the link below. That's geology.com. Promo code ROCKSTAR70 to save 70% off on your 30-day trial. Take it away, Jessica. Jen's mom mentions a nice young man she wants her to meet who wants to be a superhero one day and is super young. Jessica Gao confirmed on Twitter it's her assistant Yusong Liu, but on the closed captions it says Yusuf. So it could be Yusuf Abbas. Yusuf appeared in Civil War Marvel Snapshots #1 as the helper who loves superheroes like the Avengers and later developed some mutant powers. To answer Walter's question brought up at the dinner table,
that Hawkeye guy, what happens to those arrows of his? I mean, does he go around and collect them when he's done?
Hawkeye at times will go back and retrieve his arrows, more so if he runs out like in Hawkeye the series. And in the first Avengers, he ran out of arrows, he retrieved one from the Chitauri he just killed and used his last arrowhead to make it into a grappling hook, so it's not beyond him to go recover lost arrows. But as for the trick arrows that have already been used, the arrow shafts that are left behind, could be dangerous. I guess if you tripped and fell onto it, but that's the DODC's job to clean it up. When Jen's dad says you didn't even destroy a city in reference to Hulk's notorious hulking out and destroying everything, I could, break down every time Hulk destroyed a city or something, but I'll just do a quick scroll right here. Right, the lawyer bar is playing Ally McBeal. Look at it. That's all. Like in the comics, Holden approaches Jen for this phenomenal job offer at the bar, and with the same amount of little respect, he's so shady. This look that he gives the bartender, again, I just want to say, if Holden is orchestrating all of this, I said it first. Now, I'm not saying he's anything wild, but let's keep in mind some folks could be Skrulls. There's also a little statue behind Jen. This isn't quite the Lady Justice statue. She's holding a candle, it looks like. A lot of statues like this will probably be seen throughout the show, like this one at GLK&H. And we've arrived at GLK&H. It's massive and Jen's looking damn confident. That is until she doesn't know how to open this door. She-Hulk would have just ripped that off the handles. Holden mentions how eccentric superhumans are appearing more and more. In Marvel Comics, superhuman was applied to those way beyond normal human physical conditions. Altogether, they're superhumans, which we've got into in She-Hulk, enhanced individuals, the DODC refers to them as this in Ms. Marvel, Inhumans, which we've seen in Black Bolt and Multiverse of Madness 838, and mutants. Brandon and I do a great big Q on this and how classifications could work in the MCU, so go ahead and just click back on over to that. Holden also mentions that he wants Jen showing up to work and at court as She-Hulk, the complete opposite of what he wanted in the comics. In the comics, he wanted her to only work as Jennifer, a sharp attorney with a keen, focused mind. He's just trying to use her. He's hella sketchy. Take a look at all those comics. In the 2004 She-Hulk run, Stu Cicero worked in the basement of GLK&H, monitoring all the Marvel comic books that people use for research. This could be our Stu, and this is where you refer back to for research. It's like a library. We meet Pug, played by Josh Shigara. I love Pug. Not only is he super supportive and loves Jen in the comics, he's clearly very funny and just kind of gross here. Pug has a wild history, paying for school by being a bouncer. He was saved by Spider-Man, and he's just an awesome bestie. If you look closer in the basket, we have a plaque for Jennifer Walters' name, the same cup we saw in episode 1, the See You Later Litigator, and office supplies. Oh, and sorry, I almost forgot about the poop map. God, I love him so much. We find out Jen's first case is the parole of Emil Blonsky, aka Abomination. Quickly, let's go down memory lane with Abomination. Emil Blonsky was a former special ops, met up with Thunderbolt Ross, who injected him with the super soldier serum. He tries to take on Hulk, loses. Then he took on Hulk's blood and transformed into Abomination. He then tried to kill Hulk in the Duel of Harlem and lost. He's been mentioned since almost being on the Avengers, and we've seen Wang releasing him out of prison just to kick his ass. He also specifically wants to retain Jen as his attorney. That's important to note and also very suspicious. We finally get to the DODC's Supermax prison, the Cube. It's kind of like the Raft, which we saw in Civil War, but this, I suspect, is in Cali, the Death Valley-ish area, seeing as in the comics, this version was in Nevada. This is also where the clandestines are sent to in Ms. Marvel episode 4. At the entrance, it says Department of Damage Control Supermax Prison. We see their DODC sigil. This is all legit. The entry guard, Foley, is played by Matt Skoller, but on his hat, the symbol doesn't match the DODC sigil. His hat reads at the bottom, FBPCA. FBP stands for Federal Bureau of Prisons, so this one's the California division. The top says Superhuman Federal Penitentiary, with the symbol looking like the US Department Justice logo. I think it's suspicious that the guard's uniform doesn't even slightly resemble the DODC's. Could the Supermax prison outsource their guards? Right now, I think the big cheese overseeing this is Val, rather than the DODC. She's like the point of contact, if you will. We get a little call back here to Sons of the Lambs.
You're gonna serve me up with some fava beans and a nice Chianti.
Ma'am, this is a prison.
When Hannibal discloses how he ate the census taker's liver with some fava beans and a nice Chianti. Yee! we see Emil Blonsky, played by Tim Roth, and yes, it's the same cell we see in Shang-Chi. Truly, I'd go crazy in something like that, and I'm glad Wang was sneaking him out. In the trailer, when Emil Blonsky turns into Abomination, he hits his head on the ceiling, triggering a red alarm and wave of red lights. The same alarm sets off when Jen steps over the yellow line. It's probably like a sensory alarm, imagine the game Operation if you will. But also, this doesn't even phase Emil. We also see a painting of the sun setting over an ocean, and maybe he painted it. But the calming ocean presence and suns getting real low is truly Smart Hulk 101. He's in Mexico, doing yoga by the beach, settling with his inner Hulk. Him and Emil aren't so different, and it's mentioned later that Hulk and him exchanged letters briefly, so maybe Hulk gave him some advice. Abomination chooses not to change, and I'm not trying to be a wild person and connect this to everything, but I mean, come on. If this entire game is a game of chess, Val probably persuaded Emil to reconcile with the idea of Bruce Banner, ushered him to hire his cousin to represent him. Bonus, she's a good lawyer, she'll probably win, but along the way, will turn back into Abomination when easily angered by Jen or Bruce, because when he even mentions Bruce there, look at his eyes, it's pure resentment, then gets picked up by the hands of Val, then watch Val be his parole officer. Emil mentioned he's been talking to 7 people within the prison pen pal program and wants to run away with them on their purchased property for him. I support this polygamy. Also, I think we see them in the She-Hulk trailer. You see Jen near Emil's cell, and behind her are 7 people standing wearing white tops and I think crowns, so yeah, I think that's his 7 partners. I'm also like, girls, you saw Abomination, you saw what he did to Harlem, why are you over him? Like, whatever. Speaking of which, they mentioned the Duel of Harlem when Abomination went buck wild toe-to-toe with Hulk and the Incredible Hulk, but what I really love here is Emil's sadness in retelling his point of view of everything and truly how the US government let him down, and Hulk was the threat, which, refer back to my earlier scroll of all the things Hulk has destroyed in the MCU to see how much of a threat he kinda is, but truly, Hulk didn't really suffer the same as Abomination. Hulk is kind of a hero now and Abomination's a prisoner? It's worth pondering. Once we're out of the prison and back at Jen's apartment, she calls Bruce to give him the 411. Smart Hulk is on the Carrion Class A Superior craft? Why? Is it to see his son? Is it to further study the city? I think he's been back after Thor Ragnarok and we just haven't seen it, because how else would he have brought back those Sakaar gems what we saw in the first episode? This courier ship is, oh my god, it's insane. Okay, so on it, we see the mighty honk behind him from episode 1, some binders and folders on the shelf. The big binder used to follow Hulk's evolution. Why would he need that? A lot of the same tech from the basement lab in Mexico. Also, Hulk, get your damn feet off the desk. You're a Hulk, not an animal. I also like the nod at Hulk saying he's a completely different person now.
That fight was so many years ago, I'm a completely different person now.
Yeah, you ain't Edward Norton fighting Emil, my dude. When we see the news, it's KDAJ Los Angeles News 10, who are the same people outside Jen's apartment in the trailer. Footage has been released of Abomination fighting Wang and Shang-Chi at the Golden Daggers Club. Maybe that night in particular was popular to record the fights, or because of the aftermath, someone released said footage. But this might have also been Wang and Abomination's first time fighting in the ring or in public if this just now got out. This time we close She-Hulk with her theme song, but we've got a few courtroom illustrations. We get Nikki and her drinking, we get the GLK and H Superhuman Law Division with her, Nikki, Pug, Holden, and who we know as Mallory Book, played by Renee Ellis Goldsberry, who was in Hamilton. Mallory and She-Hulk in the comics started to hate each other. Mallory just kinda sucked. She was mean and super disrespectful to She-Hulk all the time, and she was the best attorney until She-Hulk showed up. She-Hulk holding a fridge for her mom while she vacuums, and her dad pointing at a broken light, insinuating to fix it. The poop here diagram given to her by Pug with Nikki and She-Hulk. The mid-credit scene is Jen doing every bit of heavy lifting work for her dad since Ched is absolutely incapable of helping. And that's everything that I spotted in the second episode of She-Hulk. Follow me on Instagram and Twitter at Lulu_Clemons. Follow New Rockstars. Subscribe to New Rockstars for more breakdowns of everything you love. Thanks for watching. Free Blonsky!